All right, boys and girls, welcome to the session with David Anderson. David is the founder of LionDesk, liondesk.com, one of the best known CRMs in our industry, and also one of the most beloved CRMs, I think, because I hear about LionDesk quite a bit, not just from folks in our tribe and our audience, but also from speakers. In fact, just a few weeks ago, I just did a prize giveaway of a license for LionDesk, and you guys absolutely loved it, ate it up, got on board. So that was a lot of fun. And today I get a chance for the first time to actually get to speak with David, again, the founder of LionDesk. And what I'm really excited about today here to speak with David is, you guys, we agents have a lot of tools, technology that we pay for. And sometimes it seems like we're spending more money on just a recurring charge than we are in getting money out of, getting a return on our investment out of the tools. And what I'm excited to talk about today with David is about how to actually maximize and use a CRM tool, how to deepen meaningful impact on a group of people that we have in our CRM to actually get more business, get more referrals, and grow our business, right? Not just have it basically be like an expensive spreadsheet with just names and data in it, because that's not what it's supposed to be. So with that, David, welcome to the Get Listing Summit.
Andre, thank you. Very excited. Congratulations on what you're doing as well. I think it's extremely beneficial to agents around the country. So appreciate being here and looking forward to hopefully dropping a little bit of knowledge and having a good time.
I appreciate that. All right, let's jump right in. So you put together a CRM, and there were other CRMs already. So where I would like to start is, why did you decide to do the work of putting together LionDesk? What problem or gap did you see in the marketplace that you felt passionate enough about to solve?
I'm a glutton for punishment, and so decided to go ahead and start a company where there was already a lot of other companies doing it. No, so back about 4.5 years ago, I didn't have a whole lot to do because I had another company, which I got out of. I exited that and then started hanging out with my sister, who was a realtor. She was an agent and had been for 15 years. My dad was in real estate. My stepdad was a mortgage broker. And, I went to a conference and was in back just listening, and thought to myself, wow, like, this is actually pretty fun. I like real estate. I like people. This could be a good business. And so I just did some research, and you're right. There were products out there. There are great products out there available today. But what I wanted to do was solve the problem for my sister, which was, over the course of her career, she had a lot of different places that she was keeping her contacts. She had Excel, she had her phone, she had pieces of paper, she had the MLS, right? And then she had her new phone because her old phone's dead. So all of the different tools that she had, there wasn't really anything centralized. So then I looked at products and I said, okay, there's a lot of CRMs, but what they really were just kind of glorified database management systems, right? And so you had kind of the legacy players, a couple new guys, but what I wanted to put together was a system to where a new agent can go in and log in and immediately have effect on their income. Or if you're an existing agent and you have a database of 15 years, you can load them into LionDesk and immediately have an effect. And so the way that we did that was talking to brokers, talking to agents. I knocked on doors here in San Diego. Like, I interviewed people, and then we slowly put it together with the idea being that, what we want to do is connect a lot of really good systems that are out there into kind of the centralized hub, which is LionDesk, so that you really only have one place to go for all of the communication, all of the website visits, everything that you actually do from contact to close of that client. Because as we know, most agents are really terrible at following up and nurturing, especially after the sale. And what I wanted to do was just, if I could take it, from a 10% retention rate to 15% retention rate, that's a 50% increase in income for an agent. And so it's taken some time. We're learning on a daily basis, and I talk to clients on a daily basis, but the idea is make it simple, make it affordable, make it easy to use, and let's just try to get agents to close more deals more often.
Well, congratulations on the impact that you're having so far. I know that you're making an impact. That must be fun, fulfilling, right? And speaking of making an impact, how does an agent begin to use, let's just go fundamental building blocks 101, right? Block and tackle. How does an agent begin to actually make an impact on their business, their revenue, and their results with a CRM tool where they're not treating it as just like a glorified Excel spreadsheet, right? How do you actually start to use a CRM to grow your business? What are the building blocks of that from your perspective?
Yep. So when most people think CRM, traditionally it's answering the question of what did I do with that client? So you're looking in a rearview mirror, right?
Okay.
What you should be doing is looking forward, like what can I do with that client? Where should I be going with this person? And so let's assume you got two agents. You got the brand new agent, and then you got the agent with a database, a sphere, right?
Okay.
Brand new agent, immediately you load up your contacts. It's your sphere. It's your friends and family. The first thing not to do is send them a newsletter. That's going to be a miserable idea. So don't do that, right?
No cornbread
recipes? What you want to do, no, don't do that stuff, right? Some agents, it's going to work great for you, but for the majority of the time, it's just going to go in the trash. So what you want to do is you have your clients, you have your friends, you have your family, and then very simply send them a text message out of LionDesk and say, hey, it's been a while since we chatted. How are things going? Like, that's all you have to do to reignite a conversation, which could potentially turn into a listing appointment and a sale for you, right? If you've got an existing database of clients, I can guarantee you that there are clients that you haven't talked to in a year or 2 or 3 or 5, right? Put them in your database. Don't get tricky about it. Just write them a quick little text message, and you can send out, the same little template from LionDesk with their first name in there. So it's personalized. You're going to get people to reply to you. And that's the first place to start, because we know inside of real estate that there isn't a lead generation problem. There's plenty of leads everywhere. It's easy to get them at a low cost. The problem is, what are you doing with them, and how are you following up on those leads, on those clients, to actually nurture that relationship? And that's what you should be doing with your CRM, because if you're not doing that, then you're missing out on a ton of revenue, just like a massive amount. And you don't even have to put in that much work. 15 minutes a day, like that's it. And then you're going to get more listings.
It sounds so simple.
It is.
I know.
It's funny because.
Go ahead.
We do trainings, and everybody says, "Show me everything of LionDesk," and I say, "No, I'm going to show you 2 things that I just want you to leave here in the next 15 minutes
and
go back, sit in front of your computer for 15 minutes, and do it. That's all you got to do, and then do that for a week. Nothing else." Just do that for 1 week. Don't forget about creating campaigns and doing this and putting all your No, make it simple. Communicate as a one-to-one relationship. Spend a few minutes, and then it's good. And then once you have that system in place, you don't have to worry about it anymore. The system will do what you tell it to do. I mean, let the computer do what it can do best, and you do what you do best, which is go out there and build relationships.
So that's such a brilliant distinction of the old way was, what did I do with the client, rear view facing, and the new perspective is, what should I do with that client, right? Talk to me a little bit about how LionDesk specifically, or a CRM tool, can be used in that way. Because I don't know if you guys have a feature specific, if you have specific features inside LionDesk that allow it to be more forward-facing or forward-thinking than other CRMs, but maybe walk me through some of the mindset or some of the process that an agent would go about to actually effect that, right? What should I do next with this client versus what did I do with the client? You are still recording in the CRM what you did with the client when you do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the recording should always happen, whether or not you're going to be texting the client, emailing the client, calling the client, sending out a direct mail piece, sending out your cards, right? Your Merry Christmas, your Happy New Year, all of those things you need to put in your system. So, because we forget everything. We only remember like a very small percentage of what people tell us anyways. And so that's why we have to put it into a system. So one of the ways to actually look forward, right, is you've got your Facebook leads out there, you have your website, okay? And what you should do inside of Lion Desk is you categorize your people. And one of the ways you can do that is people that you haven't communicated with within the last, let's say 2 weeks, right? That have been on your website and have saved more than 3 properties, right? So these traditionally, they're just going to be doing their own stuff. And I hear it all the time from agents. When they're ready, they're going to call me. You go to that appointment, you meet them, you talk to them on the phone. They say, well, I'm 6 months away. And then you set a follow-up for 6 months, but that's not what you need to do, right? What you need to do is continually reach out to that person and give them value, right? Which you can set up inside of Lion Desk so that you don't have to 6 months from now drive by that client's house and see somebody else's open house sign in front of it, which statistically speaking is going to happen more times than not. So inside of Lion Desk specifically, categorize your clients, set them up on campaigns so that it will just automatically follow up. And again, don't make it really long content, short, simple, sweet, personalized, whether or not it's an email or text message. Make sure you pick up the phone because that's just as important today. And then if you just do those simple things, you're going to increase your closing ratios by 30 or 40%.
Let's take an agent, for example, that has 800 leads from Zillow and 200 leads from Z57 or whatever that platform is, and 150 leads from over here. And there's 30 more leads right here. And they're like, okay, shoot, I'm going to get serious. 2019, I'm going to do database marketing like a professional that I say I am on my business card. So they get Lion Desk or any CRM, but let's just go with Lion Desk. They get Lion Desk. They set themselves up a new account. Can you walk me through? Because I think now with how many platforms in tech and leads and all this, there's so much fragmentation, right? These Frankenstein funnels, I call them, all patchworked and quilted together. Can you walk me through best practices of taking old leads and re-engaging them using a CRM tool?
Yeah, it's very, very easy. So you aggregate all of your data, right? And so whether or not you have it from a different CRM or you have it in Excel, or you dump everything in and you just got all your stuff. You got to categorize your clients. You have to know where they are, which ones are buyers, which ones are sellers. If you know the price point, that's even better, right? Because what you need to be doing is communicating with your clients on the context that's important to them. So if you're going to be sending, $1 million homes to somebody who's looking at a $200,000 house, you're not going to connect with that client. It doesn't make a difference for them, right?
Right.
So once you get everything categorized, right, and organized into these different filters, then create the messages. And one of the great differentiators that we have in Lion Desk is using a video text message or a video email, right? So we actually have it built in. So how does that work? You go to your Lion Desk, you click a little button, you record a video, and let's assume you want to send out a video text. Nobody does this in the industry right now. We're the only ones where it's an actual inline on your phone. You push play just like you were sending a video from your iPhone to somebody else with an iPhone. It'll play your video. It's not a link, right? So differentiator, that's big because then they're going to see your face and they're going to be like, oh, I remember, I remember Andre, I remember David.
Right.
Everybody has their pictures on their business cards, right? For a reason, because they want you to remember them. But when we're sending emails, it's shoved down to the signature line. And when we're sending text messages, all they see is the name. Maybe all it says is realtor, right? So
do not pick up.
So do not pick up, right? So you get a lead in and create a video, right? That's one thing you could do is be like, hey, I got your request on Zillow recently and just wanted to follow up. Or I got your request on Z57 or on my website or on Facebook. Okay. Create a video for each specific lead source, which is going to take you about 10 minutes. Do it in one shot. Who cares, right?
Right.
The key is not whether or not they're going to play it and listen to the whole thing. It's about whether or not they're going to pick up their phone and be like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. And then follow it up with a little text message. Be like, I'm just checking in. Simple stuff will turn into sales. And I see it time and time and time and time again that we overthink our messaging. We overthink our communication. When somebody asks me, should I send this because I've agonized over this text message for an hour? My response is just send it. Just send it, man. Just push the button. Who cares if there's a typo or you blow it or, it doesn't, you don't say something just send it out because what we're doing is like, we want something to be perfect when all it needs to be is done. Right. And that's what we try to teach agents and brokers inside of LionDesk is just record the message, push send, and go, and then wait for the responses. Like in the upper right-hand corner of LionDesk, you're going to start seeing the text message number increase on a message that you send out to 20 people.
I like that. I love that. So when it comes to the concept of what I said at first when I was introducing you, talking about, making a more meaningful impact on a smaller group of people, and I borrow those words from Randy, one of the folks on your team, in an email exchange that we had. This right here is one of those ways to do it, at least initially with a new lead that's, off the internet, wherever it's coming from, regardless of wherever the lead's coming from, right? A video, text, or just being on camera like that will certainly make a huge difference in being able to connect.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all about growing and nurturing the relationship, right? So, the average, buyer is going to take, 6 months. Sellers, who knows, right? And it's just going to be a matter of like, who is the salesperson or the agent that has consistently followed up with that client over time to be there. And we all know it, right? I mean, everybody always says like, you got to be there when your client is ready to buy. You got to be there when your client is ready to sell. Most people don't do it. It's like sitting in a grandstand and you're watching a parade, right? And everybody down below you are buyers and sellers, right? So before they get to you, right, they're not ready. They've submitted their lead. They're browsing on Facebook. They're looking on Zillow. They're shopping. Most people give up during that process because they want, most salespeople want now, right? But as they get closer and closer towards you in the grandstand, then they're ready to buy. Once they've passed you, it's too late. They've already gone on. They found somebody else. They've used another agent. And so in order to prevent them getting past you, you have to follow up with all of them so that as they're walking by in the parade, you're the agent that's been following up and communicating with them. So when I see, messages come across and it says like, hey, I'm not ready to buy. It's going to be about 6 or 7 months. And the agent responds, okay, great. I'll follow up with you then. I'm like, no, it's too late. If you're going to follow up with them in 6 months, it's too late. They've already bought their home. They've already sold their home. So you need to have this consistent messaging of just good communication, personalized, right? Like make it highly personalized. And then that way, when they're actually in front of you at the parade, they're ready to buy or they're ready to sell. And it's no more simple than that. And like I said, it takes about 15 minutes a day to get all this stuff done.
What's the statistic or some sort of number that I've read and heard that of the people who will buy or sell, transact or do a real estate transaction in the next 12, of the people who will do a real estate transaction, if only 15% of them are going to do something in 90 days or less. Right now, business, like you're talking for salespeople who want it now, 85% of revenue is in 90 days plus. Right? So if you're effectively following up, like you're saying, or staying in touch, you're basically giving yourself a 500% pay increase, potentially, right? From 15%.
Exactly.
During the other 85%. What do you find is the amount of repetition or follow-up schedule that needs to happen in order to be effective? What's too much? What's the Goldilocks? What is the Goldilocks of database management?
There's no silver bullet, but what the answer is I know, right? I can tell you what I teach all of our salespeople, and when I'm talking in front of 500 agents, I said, if you don't get clients periodically telling you to stop following up, you're not following up enough. Okay. Because more deals are lost because of lack of follow-up than are because of overly persistent follow-up. Okay. So be overly persistent. You're going to get more deals. You may piss off a couple people because you're, following up a lot, but that's okay, because on the other side of the token, your clients are going to appreciate it because you were the one, and they're going to know that because they're like, you know what? Andy just followed up with me a lot, and seems like a great guy and was always providing value and always there, and said, even though I said it was 6 months later, he was still there. So overly persistent follow-up is much, much better than lack of follow-up. And that's what I tell people. Like, we know statistically it takes, more than 12 touches and all these other things, and so, but it's just a matter of just, set up the systems. And I'm not even saying, you gotta call these people every week. Like, don't do that. Like, cause then you're going to bug the hell out of them and then they're going to get all pissed off. But if you do it in such a way to where it's inside of the system, you have a process down, then you don't have to worry about it, because then your pipeline is going to be full of people that are passing you by in that parade, right? As you're automatically nurturing the rest of these leads as they get closer to your sale. Because as a real estate agent, everybody freaks out once escrow closes, but the only reason you do that is because you don't have anything else, at the end of the pipeline. There's nothing else in escrow, right?
Right.
And so, make sure like your pipeline is always full. Look at what you're doing and figure out, how am I going to go back to these clients that I haven't talked to in 2 months or 3 months as they get closer towards the funnel of actually buying or selling.
What's a question that you wish people asked you more often about CRM management, CRM marketing, or database marketing? What's a question that you wish agents asked you more often?
That I wish they asked me more often.
Yeah. Or were thinking about. That's something they were thinking about.
I think I can tell you what they ask too much, which is, what should I be saying? Right. Okay. And my response to that is anything, just send it. And the biggest one is, I wish they would ask, what's the best way to categorize my clients to get most efficient at this stuff, right? Because you lump your clients in as a buyer and a seller, and that's fine, but you're not learning anything about those clients, right? And so, what I want to do is teach them, every conversation you have with a client, no matter how small, what you're doing is trying to build rapport with that client. So when you go to that listing presentation, right? When you're going to the listing presentation, if you have the same pitch for every person, I think you're making a mistake. Okay. So the reason is because people buy for different reasons, right? So, and kind of off topic on CRM, but I'll get back to it. So people buy for different reasons. Okay. So some people buy because they want the best price and they think it's like a great market and they're going to get in there and this is an investment, right? For them. Other people buy because they want to know every little detail about that property, price per square foot, like what is the average comps? What are some of the things in the area in terms of like every single little dot? What are different ones that sold? Where is this going to be? And then you have the people that want to build a family and like are nurturers and say like, we just want a good environment and a good school and a good this. And so when you're going in for your listing presentation, what I say is look through your current buyers, your past sellers, right? And see if you can actually put them in different buckets of why they chose you. Did they choose you because they were this type of person, that because they wanted to win, they wanted the best price, were they looking for a family? So that when you're sitting there in your listing presentation, you actually have a few different presentations in your folder that matches up with their personality, right? If you do that and start asking more questions and learning about them and then write down all this stuff so that when you go back to your office, you can put them in your database, you're going to do a much, much better job on the follow-up. Because let's assume I'm a person that wants to know about the neighborhood and the schools and how things are and walkability, and you, Andre, are the one that wants to know about comps and price per square foot. The messaging that I'm sending you is going to be way different than the messaging that I should be sending myself, right?
Got it.
I'm going to be sending you market updates, statistics, everything about it, where I'm going to say, hey, by the way, this new restaurant just opened up. It's right down the street. You're going to love it. So listen when you're actually talking to your clients, and you can do it over the phone on a brand new lead. Why, what's most important for you? I mean, that's the question that most people don't ask, right? They just go into their pitch. What's the most important thing, that thing that you're looking for when you're finding a new home? Or what's the most important thing you're doing, and then just listen, follow up on that. Find the pain point, right? Like, what is it about their pain point? Ask them, like, what is it, why do you want to move? Or why do you want to buy? And then put that in your CRM so that when you're communicating with them, it's on that personalized level. It's like hyper personalized. And then you're going to get more sales other than just blasting out your market update every week.
I'm so happy that I asked that question, Pat on the back. But I'm so happy that I asked that question because, I would have never guessed that the founder of a CRM platform would have said that the thing that agents ask way too much that they don't need to is what should I send? What should I message? Because you so much focus on copywriting, scripting, dialogues, right? All that stuff that you would think that that'd be like an important thing. But as I'm listening to you explain that, especially there towards the end where you say, if Andre's interested in comps and I'm interested in walking distance to the parks and the restaurants or amenity, recreational places, like the follow-up is different. I think what I'm hearing you say is your messaging needs to be within the context of whatever relationship you've been able to establish, even if it's a relationship of one phone call.
Correct. 100%. And you can judge pretty quickly by just asking, tell me about your motivation. What are you looking to get out of your next house? What do you want to find, right? And then you're going to get all these answers and then just write all of them down, right? And then you're going to be able to quickly say, this person is motivated by price per square foot. They want the right area. They want an investment. They want it to go up by 4% versus the person that says, I'm really just looking for something that is, great for my family, that's got the backyard, like that's the family person, right? And so the messaging, as you take all this data and you put it inside of your CRM, have custom fields, which you can do inside of LionDesk, that have all of this stuff so that when you schedule your next call for that person or you follow up with another email or a text message, you can reference those custom fields and know what's important to them because, we're all in sales, right? And if I know what's important to you and what your motivations are of why you're buying or why you're selling, then the rapport has been jumped exponentially compared with the person who jumps in there with the same presentation that comes through the door and just does their whole spiel, which may work, but the R in CRM is about relationships. And this whole business, like real estate, is all relationships. And it's sad when I hear statistics from NAR saying that after the close of a sale, 90% of those clients said they would use the same agent, but only 12% do. Like, it just crushes me because we put so much work, right, into the sale. Like, you're excited about it, and you celebrate the closing, and you're popping champagne, and you're taking pictures, and you're posting on Facebook, and then poof, client's gone, and then only 1 out of 10 is going to use you again when 90% said they would. And so that's why we have to have all of the information, every piece of communication, every conversation that we have, every drop by that we do, put it in your CRM. And that way, when you're communicating with that client over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, they're referring business to you because they remember you because you're communicating on their level, right? And that's why I said, I'd love to get that 10% number up to 15, up to 20 for, any individual client, because it's just going to double the revenue with no extra work other than setting up a few little reminders of things to do inside of the system.
So simple, right? Yeah.
Everything takes work, Andre.
Right.
It all takes work.
I was looking for magic bullets.
It all takes work, man.
I was looking for a magic bullet.
There's no magic bullet. Everything takes work. Building a business takes work. Selling a home takes work. Buying a home takes work, right? But if you can have your systems in place and you can automate them, then it's a whole heck of a lot less work than by struggling. Plus, when you start getting those referrals in, like I know some agents, they never advertise for new leads. They're 100% referral based, and they're closing 50 to 60 transactions a year.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you maybe an odd question, but I'm wondering if there's an answer there to be had. You said that, one thing the agents definitely ask way too much of is what to message. And one thing maybe you wish that they would ask more about is how to categorize, right? Yep. Effectively the leads that they have coming in besides just maybe, price point or geography, et cetera. Are there an odd set of unique categorizations that you find keep popping up again and again amongst your most successful clients, or that you find are an interesting an interesting grouping of uncommon categorizations that an agent should keep in mind and try to identify that are kind of like force multipliers or like advantage makers for being able to follow up really well with the lead prospect?
I don't think so. I mean, that would be great, right? Like,
sure.
Track these 3 things, and you're going to close more deals. No, I don't think so.
I put that in the R&D pipeline.
That's it. ask these 3 questions, you're going to close more deals. I don't think so, man. I mean, you know, everybody inside of Silicon Valley, right, is trying to figure out how do we disintermediate the agent? How do we get rid of the salesperson of this process? How do we automate it so that somebody just goes to Zillow and buys their home? And you know, will a certain percentage of people do that? Sure. You know, of course. But is a vast majority of the people going to use an agent? Yes, they will. And a lot of them pick their agent based on referral or, you know, even I just looked at a statistic today, and it was I think 68% of seller leads only interview one agent before actually picking that one, right? And so you only got one shot. And so, you know, categorizing is just one thing. We've got some agents that have 60 different custom fields. They ask for sports teams and kids' names and stuff, like all that crap, right? I think it's more of forget about trying to fill your database with just random information about your clients. Put in your database what's most important to them, so that the next time you call them, you got that up there, and then you could reference like the top 3 things that are most important to your client or life changes. I actually heard a great one the other day, which was every month they have a reminder, maybe it was every 2 months, they have a reminder to log into their client's Facebook page, see what a life change was or what something that they did was important or something big that they post on their Facebook group, and then spend like $10 to send them something from Amazon to be like, hey, I just saw that, you know, your kid got accepted into college. Like, you know, here's something, right? Here's something really small just for you that they could do. Or, you know, your daughter just joined a soccer game, so here's a soccer ball, you know, soccer team. So little things like that are pretty neat. And that's a reminder that they put inside of LionDesk that is attached to them that says, check client's Facebook page. You know, and it's like, once they did that, they said the retention rate, and people are just excited. I mean, personalization, you know, today is more important than ever with, you know, the world of bots and automated calls and all this other junk that we're getting inundated with, right?
Man, that was worth the price of listening for people. Just that one insight right there. That was the hack, David. That's the hack that we were looking for. That was a silver bullet tactic. No, but so simple yet so intelligent, right? So simple, and it's right there. Facebook, the data is available. You just got to do that 30 minutes a month, an hour a month.
Nothing.
I mean, depending how big your database is, it's an hour a month. Your assistant can do it if you got one.
Yeah, it's just easy stuff like that, man. And I mean, you know, is the CRM going to build your relationship? No, you know, but it's going to remind you to do things, right? It's going to tell you. It's going to give you that notification. Hey, check your client's Facebook page to see if there's any life events.
Yeah, it facilitates the consistency, right? It's a catalyst for the consistency. Would that be a right way of saying it? It's a catalyst for the consistency.
I love it. I'm stealing that.
Do it. 1% royalties. Yeah, I just on a personal note, like I'm just really happy to get to talk to you, the founder and creator of a CRM company specifically for the real estate space, because like I was telling you when we were just having a chat with each other, there's so many agents that sit around with so many tools on auto subscription, and they're paying all this money and they're not getting anything out of their dang tools, right? And then some agents get this like attitude, like, oh, F all these vendors. They're just trying to put their hands in my wallet and get my money. And it's like, well, if you don't use the tool for what it's designed for, then they're taking your money, but there is a tool to be used there if you use it right.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you know, we've got agents all over the U.S. and Canada and worldwide. And, you know, people ask me all the time, like, well, how long is it going to take me to learn this? And I said, you can do what you need to, you can do what you need to do in literally 15 to 20 minutes after logging in. Right. But, you know, I know firsthand how many tools are out there because that's our job, to connect with all these other third parties and kind of aggregate all these systems together. And there's a ton of great tools that are available. And, you know, from an agent or a broker perspective, they've got everybody calling them to sign up. And, you know, the key is, in my opinion, is like, you know, there's no silver bullet. Your most important and valuable asset is your clients. Right. And so pick the tools that are going to help you, you know, keep in touch with them, take care of them, nurture them. And then once you've done that, then start focusing on some new business and new leads. Because for existing agents, like again, 10% only use you. I mean, how much revenue, how much time and money have people put into on a new lead while ignoring all of their past clients, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. And so we have all these tools to help us with, get everything tracked in Facebook and but teeny little things, man, it can make a big difference in somebody's life, right? Just selling one more home is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And whatever referral they might give you too, the referrals, right? We haven't even talked about the referrals. Well, speaking of, is there anything around referrals that you ever like to teach or educate your clients, the agent on when it comes to using a CRM database, how to use that to maybe generate referrals? An effective way?
Same system, man.
Okay.
Everybody, I mean, the referrals are whether or not you've done business with that client, are working with that client, or have worked with that client. It's never a bad time to tell them I build my business off of referrals, right?
If you've been staying in touch, right, and actually being present, right, not just out of the blue.
That's it. Yeah, for sure. Like you're talking, don't just send an email like, hey, do you have anybody you can refer, right? Why would I do that?
Right.
Especially if you've never talked to them. But your past clients are going to be your biggest gold mine, right? Your past clients, and even if people didn't use you, we like to send out surveys all the time to our clients. And we always try to say like, hey, is there anybody that you can refer us to, or do you know anybody that's looking for a CRM system? And that's how we built our business. I mean, we built our business basically by referral over the past few years because, it's important, and if you can provide a good service to your clients and you follow up with them, they're going to be singing your praises. The statistic that I said, a couple times already was I think 90% of people would refer or use the same agent. Mm-hmm. Most people aren't asking for referrals. You want to do something like that nobody else does, send a letter 30 days later, which by the way, you can automate inside of LionDesk to that client that you just sold and said like, hey, it's been 30 days. Hope everything's going well in your new house. Super pumped. Glad everything's going, I build my business off of referrals. Do you have anybody? Here's a couple of business cards. Those agents that are doing that are getting business that way. Right. Do the same thing 6 months and then a year and then 2 years. And so it's little things, that don't take a lot of thought, that you can just in 5 minutes go into LionDesk, write a quick little text message and say like, hey, and my sister did this with her past clients just a couple weeks ago, by the way. She says, hey, it's been a while since we chatted. Hope everything's going okay. Is there anything that I can help you out, or do you have any friends or family that I can help out as well? Sheila, right? Boom. She got 4 listing appointments off of like 30 texts just because of like referrals and repeats and stuff. So it's little stuff that we all know we should do, but we really don't actually do it because we think it's a pain in the butt and it takes time, but success takes time and you got to put the effort in.
I like it. I think this is a great place to bring it to an end. I think we've covered. Cool. I think you've really done a good job of breaking things down and simplifying it for agents. For somebody who's maybe not had success in getting results from a CRM, but they know that there's a way to use a CRM to get more results. I mean, I'm biased in my opinion here, but I personally think that this interview is a great primer on, hey, here's your next steps. Here's to go about doing it. Here's what you need to focus on and pay attention to. Here's what you don't need to overcomplicate. That's, I think, one thing that I've heard you say, even when you mentioned people say, I want to learn all these things. And you say, no, just do these 2 things and do these for a week and come back, right? I think we like to think that success has to be complicated because it couldn't be easy or simple, right? So therefore, we then want to overcomplicate everything. I don't know.
Yep.
What you think, but I think I see that a lot, especially with entrepreneurs, agents, people like me, you, I don't know, in general, maybe not you specifically, but you know what I'm saying? There seems to be like this subconscious overcomplication of things. And it actually it causes us to go into procrastination, paralysis, lack of progress, and you're in the same place 365 days from now. Yep.
You're right. The biggest thing is, simplify what you're doing on a daily basis. Make sure that you are listening to your clients, logging everything inside of your system, communicating with them the way they want to be communicated with, right? In terms of the type of buyer that they are. And then do simple things like, once you leave that listing appointment, send them a video of you saying, hey, it was really great meeting you today. Super pumped about working with you. And by the way, that can be the same video that you send to everybody in your database after every appointment. You don't have to re-record a new one, right? So all of these little things and tools and tricks you can do, and it doesn't take a lot of time, but you got to put it in. And so, the biggest thing is, there's a lot of cool systems, a lot of cool tools. We can get easily distracted. Everybody's always asking for the magic bullet, but it really just is a matter of go home at the end of the day, grab a beer, grab a glass of wine, open up your CRM, and then start logging conversations that you had, and then you're going to be on your way to doubling your business.
David, I really appreciate your time and your contribution to the summit. Thanks for on behalf of myself and everybody here, I just want to say thank you for showing up and sharing and having a conversation with me and collectively us today about making the most out of a CRM and using it to grow your business. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Andre. Appreciate it, man.
For everybody listening, there's a link right below. Go check out Lion Desk. We put together something very nice and fun for you that you can check out, special to the summit. Go check that out. And again, I can't personally say enough good things about Lion Desk. I've heard nothing but good things about them. You guys now have had a chance to learn here from David. And I know that they have a lot of community resources to help you succeed. I happen to know many agents personally who are using Lion Desk and very happy with it. So I think that if you don't have an effective CRM platform right now, then I think you should go check out Lion Desk and see what they have to offer. With that, we'll see you guys on the next session.